War doesn't only destroy cities. It destroys tools, machines, and hope. But sometimes, from the ashes of destruction, a mind rises that refuses to be defeated. This is the forgotten story of a soldier. A man who stood in the middle of a dying battlefield and chose to build instead of surrender. A man who took twisted metal, shattered gears, and ruined machine parts, and turned them into something extraordinary. A soldier who proved that even in war, creativity can be stronger than chaos. Before we talk about his invention, we must understand the world he lived in. His unit was stationed on the edge of a crumbling front line, a place where supplies rarely arrived, where ammunition was rationed like gold, and where even a broken rifle could decide whether a man lived or died. Mechanics were gone. Engineers were gone. Reinforcements? Just rumors carried by tired messengers. The soldiers fought with equipment held together by tape, rope, and desperation. Every day, vehicles broke down, weapons jammed, and essential tools rusted into uselessness. But in the middle of all this decay, our soldier saw something that others didn't. Before the war, he wasn't a hero. He wasn't a commander, or a decorated officer, or a professional engineer. He was an ordinary man, working in a small mechanical workshop, repairing bicycles, heaters, and metal furniture. He knew welding. Not the industrial kind, but the type you use to fix a broken chair, or make a new gate for a neighbor. No formal schooling. No blueprints. Just experience. And a deep curiosity about how things worked. When the war came, he was drafted like thousands of others. But unlike many, he brought something with him. A pair of hands that could reshape metal, and a mind that refused to stay idle. One night, their outpost was hit. Vehicles burned, weapons melted, and equipment was destroyed beyond repair. In the morning, the soldiers walked among the wreckage, looking for anything that might still be usable. But all they found were broken plates of armor, bent rods, and mountains of twisted steel. To everyone else, it was junk. But to him, it looked like the beginning of something new. He picked up a deformed metal piece, turned it in his hands, and said softly, "We could build something with this." The others laughed at first, but the idea stayed. He started collecting scrap metal from every destroyed vehicle in the vicinity. Every gear, rod, hinge, spring, bolt, and plate was thrown into a growing pile beside the camp. His comrades thought he'd lost his mind. War does that to people. But he wasn't losing his mind. He was preparing for something no one expected. At night, after long patrols, he worked under lantern light, warming metal in makeshift fires, and hammering it on a stone slab. He sketched diagrams in the dirt, sometimes erasing them, sometimes rewriting them with more confidence. Slowly, the junk pile began to turn into parts. Not random pieces, but shaped components. He wasn't repairing something. He was building something. Here is where the story becomes legendary. He created a rotating mechanism using broken vehicle bearings, a reinforced frame from tank armor plates, a trigger system improvised from leftover rifle parts, A stabilizing structure made from suspension rods. Tension springs salvaged from engine components. Piece by piece, a functional machine emerged. Soldiers who had mocked him began watching him with astonishment. Some even helped, holding metal pieces while he welded, fetching tools, or offering spare parts. The camp that had once been defeated now had a spark of hope. After weeks of work, covered in burns, cuts, and grease, he finally completed it. It wasn't pretty. It didn't look like something designed in a factory. But it was powerful, reliable, and terrifyingly effective. The moment they tested it, silence filled the air. The machine worked smoothly, efficiently, and with greater force than anyone expected. The soldiers no longer saw scrap metal. They saw a new weapon, a symbol of survival. Word spread beyond their unit. Other soldiers visited the camp just to see the mad engineer's miracle. Commanders requested demonstrations. Other units asked for replicas. He didn't have the tools or time to mass-produce anything. But he repaired their equipment, upgraded old machinery, and taught others how to build from whatever the war left behind. His invention wasn't just a machine. It was a mindset. Use what you have. Create what you need. Morale rose. Troops felt stronger. Not because of the machine itself, but because it proved that innovation was still possible in the ruins. Despite everything, he never called himself a hero. He often said, "I'm not smarter than anyone here. I just didn't want to die with my hands empty." In the little free time he had, he repaired soldiers' personal items. A broken watch, a bent spoon, a dented canteen. He believed that even in war, small acts of creation could heal the soul. And maybe that's why his invention mattered so much. When the war was over, most of the battlefield machines were abandoned, sold, recycled, or forgotten. His creation disappeared too. Scrapped, melted, or lost to time. But the men who served with him never forgot the sight of a tired soldier hammering metal under a lantern, turning despair into innovation. Some say he went back home and opened a small repair shop again. Some say he became a teacher. Others believe he simply faded into ordinary life, like so many unsung innovators in history. But his legacy remains. His story teaches us something powerful. You don't need perfect tools. You don't need ideal conditions. You don't need a fancy degree. What you need is the courage to imagine something better than the situation you're given. He proved that creativity can be a weapon, a shield, and a path to survival. So if your world feels broken, if everything around you looks like scrap, remember this soldier. Because sometimes, from the most shattered materials, the strongest ideas are forged.